Tonight, several developing stories as we come on the air. New York City firefighters battling two major fires today in the searing heat. Also, Amtrak suspending service for hours. Passengers stuck from Philadelphia to New York City to New Haven. And the passenger jet coming within 500 feet of the ground. Air traffic control asking, are you okay? First tonight, the life-threatening heat across this country. Tonight, more than 127 million Americans under heat alerts as we come on the air. New York City firefighters in brutal temperatures battling those massive fires in Manhattan and the Bronx. Philadelphia issuing a heat emergency tonight. Fires breaking out along the New Jersey Turnpike during the commute home. And Amtrak passengers stuck for hours, service halted from Philadelphia to New York to Connecticut. Our team on it all tonight, and Ginger Z with the latest heat forecast. And now these storms we're watching from Detroit right into parts of the Northeast. We're also following the deadly fires in New Mexico. At least 1,400 homes and businesses destroyed. Tonight, President Biden approving a major disaster declaration for the state. The scare on board a Southwest passenger jet, the plane suddenly dropping to about 525 feet above the ground, coming close to a school. Those air traffic controllers asking the pilots if they were okay. Tonight, the USC student accused in a deadly stabbing, killing a man allegedly breaking into a car. What the district attorney has now decided. Tonight, the first law of its kind in the U.S., Louisiana now requiring public classrooms to display the 10 Commandments from elementary school to high school in a large, easy-to-read font. And what the governor there declared when signing this into law. The race for the White House tonight, and just in this evening, what Donald Trump is now saying about debating President Biden. The graphic images here tonight, the two bicyclists who survived this. They are struck from behind by an SUV, the driver charged with DWI, and the warning from authorities. The new concern tonight about those popular weight loss drugs being used by so many, and what they want you to know. And health officials warning about a record number of mosquitoes carrying West Nile virus and where they're seeing this. And tonight here we celebrate actor Donald Sutherland, from MASH to the Hunger Games. The tributes pouring in tonight from his son Kiefer Sutherland to Michael Douglas.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a very busy Thursday night. We begin tonight with this life-threatening heat across the country. More than 127 million Americans are on alert as we come on the air, from the Midwest to the Northeast, across the South and the West as well. In New York City, firefighters battling major fires in this heat. Philadelphia issuing a heat emergency. And late today, Amtrak travel halted for hours. Passengers stuck from Philadelphia to New York to New Haven. It's that heat dome that's locking in this oppressive heat, stretching coast to coast right into the weekend. And now the severe storms right along the edge of it, from Detroit right into parts of the Northeast. Those fires breaking out in New York City, a 3-alarm fire in the Bronx, another fire on the top floor of a 5-story building on Broome Street. This is Manhattan's Soho neighborhood. A large brush fire in New Jersey sending smoke over Interstate 95 during the evening commute. While in New Mexico tonight, those wildfires now claiming at least 2 lives, burning nearly 1,400 homes and businesses now. The governor there issuing a major disaster declaration tonight. President Biden sending in federal help. We have several more days of this. Ginger Z is here with the forecast and the storms now, as I mentioned, from Detroit right into the Northeast. And the images coming in tonight as well. ABC's Stephanie Ramos leading us off right here in New York.
Tonight, in stifling heat, New York City firefighters battling massive fires, with more than 127 million Americans under heat alerts coast to coast.
The firefighters have extended aerial ladders on 3 sides of this fire, just trying to get water down on it.
Thick smoke billowing into the air in the Bronx, several businesses damaged. In Manhattan's Soho neighborhood, firefighters battling this residential fire. The FDNY taking precautions in this heat.
We usually rotate the members out due to the extreme conditions, make sure everybody's hydrated and doing well.
Showing us the coolers attached to fire trucks they use to stay hydrated.
Every morning before the start of each tour, come up here and we'll replenish the water and the ice to stay cool throughout the day.
In Philadelphia, the city declaring a heat emergency, opening dozens of cooling centers. Azor Baker and his cleaning crew forced to adapt.
We had to come out a little early ahead of the sun so that, the sun don't catch us, because that sun is beaming.
Amid these high temperatures tonight, major disruptions along the nation's busiest rail corridor. Amtrak suspending service for hours from Philadelphia through New York City to New Haven, Connecticut due to a malfunctioning circuit breaker. And a brush fire impacting New Jersey transit trains. Lauren Hughes briefly stuck on her train.
The train turned off and we were stuck on the tracks for I think maybe an hour or two with no air conditioning.
Metro trains in the Washington, D.C. area already being slowed when traveling above ground due to the heat.
And David, here at a packed Penn Station, we have just learned Amtrak has resumed service along the busy Northeast corridor, but Amtrak is warning commuters of significant delays. And David, this potentially life-threatening heat is far from over here in New York and across the country.
We know that for sure. Steph, thank you. Ginger Z standing by on that. But the emergency playing out in New Mexico first, where the governor has issued a major disaster declaration now. President Biden sending help tonight. The fires have turned deadly. Hundreds of homes and buildings gone. Here's Kayna Whitworth on that.
Tonight, with fires raging out of control in New Mexico, President Biden approving a major disaster declaration for the state, sending more federal help for devastated communities. More than 23,000 acres have burned, and there's still 0% containment. At least 1,400 buildings destroyed near the town of Ruidoso. And tonight, we're hearing from the family of Patrick Pearson, a grandfather who couldn't escape the flames because of a broken leg.
It's heartbreaking to know that he didn't make it, to know that he was trying to run for his life, trying to get away from the fire.
And tonight, those areas charred by wildfire now facing another challenge. Storms and flash flooding unleashing this river of mud.
The fire conditions will improve in the coming days, but we are not out of the woods yet.
And David, the heat is really turning up out west. Here in California, the largest concern is the Sites fire. And David, firefighters with an ominous warning tonight. They're saying that already this year, they have seen a nearly 1,500% increase in acreage burn than this time last year, David.
The fires are a real concern in the west tonight. Kayna, thank you for that. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z, because Ginger, when we're talking about 127 million Americans under heat alerts tonight, the whole country going through this.
No question, David. And we are going to break it for just a few folks. You know, New York City, finally, we got our first official 90-degree temperature, which was nearly a month late. But that's after New England has had full-on heat waves of 90-plus degrees for at least 3-4 days in a row. Now we're breaking it up. Along those storms that ride the ridge, we've got severe thunderstorms in parts of New England back to Toledo and Detroit. So we're watching those tonight. Now, tomorrow, the excessive heat watch is where I want your eye to go for Baltimore, Washington, D.C., because the weekend is just going to get progressively hotter. The temperatures will be upwards of 100 degrees, but the feels likes are going to be closer to 110. So be very careful with the heat exhaustion and heat stroke. That ridge kind of broadens out and backtracks. And so looking at July, which just came in, David, from the Climate Prediction Center, above average for almost everyone.
Ginger Z with us all week, and we sure do appreciate it, Ginger. Thank you. Now to the scare on board a Southwest passenger jet from Las Vegas to Oklahoma City. The plane suddenly dropping to about 525 feet above the ground. Air traffic control then asking the pilots, "Are you okay?" Here's Victor Oquendo.
Tonight, the FAA investigating yet another concerning incident on a Southwest Airlines flight after a plane dropped to roughly 525 feet as it made its approach into Oklahoma City. A low-altitude alarm alerting air traffic control.
4069, low altitude alert. You good out there?
The plane passing roughly 625 feet over a high school. The flight taking off from Las Vegas Tuesday night, heading to Oklahoma City. It then pulled up and did a loop minutes later. Southwest stating the flight landed safely at Will Rogers World Airport, touching down just after 12 a.m. It comes just days after we learned a Southwest Boeing 737 MAX 8 off the coast of Hawaii came within just 400 feet of slamming into the ocean in April. No one was injured, but the flight was diverted back to Honolulu. And on this latest incident in Oklahoma City, Southwest says they're in contact with the FAA to understand and address any irregularities with the aircraft's approach to the airport. David?
All right, Victor Oquendo tonight. Thanks, Victor. Next tonight here, the USC student accused in a deadly stabbing, killing a man allegedly breaking into a car. What the DA has now decided tonight. Here's ABC's Ike Ejiochi.
Tonight, a USC student will not face charges after police say he confronted a homeless man allegedly breaking into a car and then fatally stabbed him. Authorities in Los Angeles say 19-year-old Ivan Gallegos and two friends approached the burglary suspect Xavier Surf around 8:15 p.m. on Monday behind Gallegos' fraternity house on Greek Row.
The person reporting advised that he confronted the suspect, and the suspect told him that he had a gun, resulting in the person reporting, stabbing the suspect.
The burglary suspect pronounced dead at the scene. Gallegos taken into custody and booked on $2 million bail. The incident occurring just blocks from campus and nearly a mile from where actor Johnny Wachter was shot and killed back in May after he interrupted thieves trying to steal his car's catalytic converter. Tonight in a statement, the district attorney declining to pursue charges against the business school junior, saying in part, "We believe that Mr. Gallegos' actions were driven by a genuine fear for his life and the lives of others. Our heart goes out to the deceased families, friends, and everyone impacted by this tragic incident."
David, sources tell ABC News tonight that no gun was found at the scene, and they say that USC student maintains he believed the burglary suspect was armed. David?
Ike Ejiochi tonight. Ike, thank you. We turn next this evening to the fallout after the first law of its kind in the U.S. Louisiana now requiring public classrooms to display the 10 Commandments from elementary school to high school in large, easy-to-read font, and what the governor declared when signing this into law. And tonight already, Texas moving to do the same. Here's Selena Wang.
A day after Louisiana became the first state to require all public school classrooms to display the 10 Commandments, tonight top officials in Texas are trying to do the same. Louisiana's Republican Governor Jeff Landry declaring this as he signed the bill into law.
Because if you want to respect the rule of law, you got to start from the original lawgiver, which was Moses.
The new law describes the 10 Commandments as one of the, quote, foundational documents of our state and national government, ordering them displayed in kindergarten through high school classrooms in large, easily readable font, accompanied by a context statement calling the commandments a prominent part of American public education for almost 3 centuries. But civil liberties groups call the law a blatant violation of the separation of church and state, and the National Education Association outraged.
Our schools are places where we welcome all students from all races, from all places, who practice religion, different religions, or none at all. And this law flies in the face of that basic foundation of the democracy in this country.
And David, the ACLU is vowing to take legal action. Now, we know that in 1980, the Supreme Court rejected a similar law in Kentucky, but the Supreme Court is more conservative now. David?
Selena Wang at the White House tonight. Selena, thank you. We turn now to the race for the White House. The first presidential debate is actually 1 week from tonight. We will simulcast the CNN debate right here on ABC. You can see it here a week from tonight. And this evening, what we've now learned about President Biden now preparing and Donald Trump tonight and what he said just today about debating President Biden and Biden's skills on the debate stage. Here's Rachel Scott.
With just 1 week to go until the first presidential debate, President Joe Biden tonight traveling to Camp David to hunker down with a team of advisors as he prepares to face off against Donald Trump. And tonight, we are learning new details about how the debate will unfold. Biden won a coin toss and got to pick where he would stand on the stage. He chose the podium that will show up on the right side of the television screen. Trump then got to pick the order of closing statements and decided he would have the last word. For both, the stakes couldn't be higher. In an interview with David, Biden laying out his strategy.
What do you think you need to accomplish on that debate stage?
Say what I think. Let him say what he thinks. The things he said are off the wall. I want to be a dictator on day one. I want to move in a direction where he talks about, suspending the Constitution. All I have to do is hear what he says, remind people what he says and what I believe and what he believes. He's about him. I'm about the country.
Are you ready for this debate?
Yes.
At Camp David, Biden's former chief of staff, Ron Klain, will lead the prep sessions, which will include full 90-minute mock debates with the president standing at a mock podium.
Now, Joe Biden,
Trump taking a different approach.
Is anybody going to watch the debate?
No mock debates for him. Instead, sources say Trump has held more than a dozen policy meetings with Republican allies, including Senators J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio, and his longtime political advisor Kellyanne Conway. And now, after weeks of attacking Biden's stamina and mental fitness, tonight Trump taking a different tune, saying he's not underestimating Biden on the debate stage, calling him a worthy debater.
All I can say is this. I watched him with Paul Ryan, and he destroyed Paul Ryan. Paul Ryan with the water. He was chugging water at a left and right. I didn't think a human being would be able to drink so much water at one time. And he beat Paul Ryan. So I'm not underestimating him. It is what it is.
Past debates between former President Donald Trump and President Biden have turned into shouting matches. So to avoid that this time around, the candidates' microphones will only be turned on when it's their turn to speak. David.
We'll see how it plays out. Rachel Scott with us live tonight. Again, 1 week from tonight, next Thursday night, the live debate coverage beginning here on ABC, 8 p.m. Eastern, then the debate. And we will simulcast the CNN debate right here on ABC. Our entire team will be here starting at 8 p.m., then the debate. We, of course, hope you'll join us right here on ABC. When we come back here tonight, the concern over what they're seeing, mosquitoes carrying the West Nile virus and where. Also, the new concern tonight about those popular weight loss drugs being used by so many now and what they now want you to know about what exactly you're taking. Tonight, some very difficult images here showing a driver hitting a group of bicycle riders near Fort Worth, Texas. They all survived this, but authorities say the images reinforce the dangers of drinking and driving. A white SUV is seen coming up from behind, knocking one rider down and then driving over a second rider. Remarkably, the victims were not severely hurt. Tonight, that driver has been charged with DWI. In Nevada, health officials are warning a record number of mosquitoes carrying West Nile virus in the Las Vegas area. Thousands of mosquitoes testing positive for the virus. People are urged to take precautions, including using repellent. Scientists warn climate change is expanding the range of disease-carrying mosquitoes. When we come back here tonight, the new warning about those popular weight loss drugs and what now to watch for. And we remember a beloved actor. To the index, and we have a new warning tonight about counterfeit weight loss drugs. In an open letter, Eli Lilly, the maker of Mounjaro and Zepbound, saying they are concerned about the dangers of fake or compounded versions of their popular drugs that are being sold online. The company says their real products are not sold on the internet. They have purple injection buttons. They are federally trademarked with logos, a gray triangular cap, and their own logo as well. When we come back tonight, the incredible career of Donald Sutherland, his son Kiefer, leading the tributes tonight. Finally tonight here, from MASH to Ordinary People to the Hunger Games, Donald Sutherland could do it all. And tonight, his son honoring him. Tonight, paying tribute to Donald Sutherland, the prolific actor whose roles span more than half a century, nearly 200 films and TV roles.
I don't even know what you do.
I'm a writer.
His breakout role in 1967 as the Army misfit in The Dirty Dozen.
Which one of you guys wants to be a general?
What kind of a general, sir?
Just a plain, ordinary, everyday, home-loving American general.
I'd rather be a civilian, sir.
The irreverent battlefield surgeon in 1970s MASH.
I think you will find these accommodating. They're quite dry.
Don't you use olives?
We do have to make certain concessions to the war. We're 3 miles from the front line.
Opposite Jane Fonda in Clute. Mary Tyler Moore in Ordinary People.
Can't you see anything except in terms of how it affects you?
Susan Sarandon in A Dry White Season.
To you, this is just another story. One more murder isn't news. But let me tell you something. It's news to me.
And Jennifer Lawrence in The Hunger Games.
I've been watching you. And you watching me. I'm afraid we've both been played for fools.
Born in 1935, he knew early on he wanted to be an actor.
It defies logic. Who knows? I don't know. When I was 16 years old, I'd never seen a play. I said to my dad that I wanted to be an actor.
His son Kiefer would go on to act as well, together in Forsaken.
God is not responsible for the life you choose. I did not choose it!
The advice he gave his son.
The only thing I ever said was that if you can be as honest as you possibly can be and pursue that, then you'll be real happy.
His son Kiefer saying tonight, with a heavy heart, I tell you that my father, Donald Sutherland, has passed away. I personally think one of the most important actors in the history of film. Never daunted by a role, good, bad, or ugly. He loved what he did, and he did what he loved. A life well lived. Tonight, Michael Douglas writing, what a lovely, talented, and curious man. Henry Winkler telling Kiefer Sutherland, your dad was indeed singular. Nancy Sinatra was simply, this hurts, Godspeed. And tonight here, Donald Sutherland, in his own words, on acting and the fame that comes with it.
Somebody says, hey, Donald, it's terrific. It's lovely. It's that exchange is wonderful. Everybody pays a lot of money so that I have a wonderful life, and it's truly a great life. And I enjoy the exchange.
Celebrating Donald Sutherland tonight. I'm David Muir. Thank you for watching. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.